Okay, this should be the last video on creating arrays. I'm going to look at the last one here where we create an array of HTML elements. So in the past, we've always selected HTML elements using document.getElementById, which gives us one element. Sometimes it's nice to be able to select a whole bunch of elements. And we can do that with querySelectorAll, which returns an array, or a node list it's technically called, but it's similar to an array, kind of a simplistic array. And we can loop through that and do things to it. Okay. So the example I want to give for that is I want to take, I'm going to go to my functions, where are my functions course activities, and I want to steal the drum kit code. And we improve this. I'm going to put it into my data structures course activities. Okay. Drum kit start, and I'm going to say drum kit query selector all. Okay. And I'll open this with code. Wrong page. There it is. So this isn't an optimized version. You've hopefully optimized this, made this more efficient using functions, right? Where we have a function for each of these different sounds that we can play, part of the drum kit. But the part I want to focus on is right here. This seems very repetitive, right? I get this element with the ID A, get the element with ID S, etc. Add event listener, add event listener, add event listener, add event listener, all with the same thing, transition and remove plain. I'm going to suggest that we can select all of these elements, get them into a node list or an array, and then loop through that and add an event listener to each of them. So let's see what we can do with that. So first, let's look at our index.html, and we should notice that the IDs are on these divs that have the class key. All these divs with those different specific IDs are all of the class key. So if only I could select all the elements that have the class key, and those are the ones that I want to add the event listeners to. So I can do that. Document.querySelectorAll. So querySelector will also work, but it'll return the first element that matches the query that we do, the CSS query that we do. This returns all of them. So inside of this is just going to be a CSS query. So dot key, just like we would do CSS dot for a class with the name key. And let's just do a quick little let key divs be assigned this, and do a quick little console.log key divs just to see what that does. Okay, we'll save this. Let's go live. Oh, I got something else running, sorry. I think it should be good now. Okay, I hit F12, and awesome. I got a node list with 9 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All of these different divs. Let me even highlight some, so nice. Okay, so it has a length of 9, 0 to 8, just like an array, but it's storing the elements, right? The divs, not numbers, not strings, whatever, it's storing the elements. Cool. So now what I can do is I can loop through those for let I be 0, I is less than key divs dot length, I plus plus, right? That loop that allows us to look at every element in the array or the node list. And I would like to do what do I want to do? Key divs at position I dot add event listener transition end remove plain. So this code right here replaces all of that, right? Because it'll get all of these elements by doing the query selector all. I loop through all the elements into each one, position 0. I add the event listener, position 1, add the event listener, etc., etc. Boom. So that is simpler. Let's save that and make sure it still works. Still works. Okay, so just a quick example showing how this query selector all, and like I said, you can use any CSS here. You can select all paragraphs. You can select all things with, you can even select things with an ID, but kind of defeats the purpose. You've got get element by ID for that, right? ID would be just a hashtag, and then A would work. That would be the same as get element by ID A. But we want dot key. Okay, Is that it? We saw how to create an array with loops from a string, from a file, and array elements, or HTML elements, sorry. And you could do more than add event listers. You could change their content. If it was input elements, I think that would be cool, right? Select a whole bunch of input elements and you can loop through and get their values and do something with them. Anyway, hopefully this proves useful to you as you create stuff. Okay, that's it. Take care. See you for the next video.